Welcome to 36 hours and 45 seconds of my life, turned into a time-lapse for you other filmmaking-minded people to enjoy. I'm Nathan Richardson, and what you can currently see at 10,000% speed is me editing my first short film, 2,261 days, which you can now watch here on YouTube for free. The time-lapse starts right from the creation of the Premiere Pro project itself, followed by all of the file management and me creating all of the dailies from all of our shoot days, to then editing each scene one by one, as I started editing before we'd finished filming, just to speed up the whole production process, and so we didn't miss our deadline. It of course ends with me putting all the edited scenes into a final timeline together, making sure they all flow well with the appropriate pacing. And the time-lapse ends with me exporting the final version. I've been editing for over a decade now, starting off in the likes of Windows Movie Maker, and then slowly progressing to, in Premiere Pro's case, buggier software. But most of my editing experience has been through me editing my own YouTube videos or promotional social media content for businesses that I've worked for. So editing a short film was very new to me and very exciting. I plan on doing an in-depth walkthrough video as well, where I go through the entire final Premiere Pro project and explain all of my editing choices and techniques, which led me to create what I think is an alright attempt at a first short film. So if you have any questions about editing a short film or a big project like this in Premiere Pro, please ask as many questions as you can think of down below. I'll do my best to answer them all in upcoming videos. And if you have any advice for me as an amateur filmmaker, please also comment that down below. If you wait to the end, you'll be able to see the entire timeline, and for context, the final export was 16 minutes and 11 seconds long. Finally, I have loads of videos planned about me going into the behind the scenes of this project, so if that sort of behind the scenes filmmaking is interesting to you, please consider subscribing.